Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 7. You are making it to the finish line. Only 2 discussion boards and 1 assignment left in this particular course experience for you. So I hope you're feeling re energized after break and ready to finish strong with the 2 weeks that we have in front of us. So let's dive into what week 7 looks like. This week, we're going to be looking at social emotional learning, emotional intelligence, PBIS, and other behavioral interventions. And so, if you scroll down with me to the readings, you'll see that we're going to be looking at teaching social emotional competencies within a PBIS framework. And we're also going to be reading about 9 examples of positive behavior support and intervention. And for your discussion question this week, you'll have the opportunity to choose one of those 9 examples and do a little bit deeper dive with some scholarly research. So excited to hear what you have to say about that. You will be thrilled to know that there is no assignment deliverable this Sunday, Sunday of week 7. Rather, want to give you just a full week and a half to think about and start to work on our very last assignment for the class, assignment number 5, which is due week 8 on Wednesday, which is not our typical pattern, right? So just wanted to highlight that your very last assignment for this class, assignment number 5, is going to be due on week 8, Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. So let's take a peek at assignment number 5 together. For this assignment, you're going to be looking at behavior action plans. While psychologists might be called upon to intervene regarding extreme student behavior patterns, classroom teachers, admin, and school counselors, as we know all too well, are often the ones to address behaviors before they've escalated to that point. For this assignment, you'll be asked to study and evaluate a number of behavior action plan templates intended for student behaviors that have not yet escalated to the point where outside interventions are necessary. So, first, you're going to browse the Positive Environments Network of Trainers website, paying special attention to the guiding principles behind behavior intervention efforts that focus on long term and lasting change to benefit students emotionally, academically, and socially. So there's a little 3-part assignment here that goes along with your exploration. Part number 1 is a template evaluation. So for this part, you're going to study the 4 behavior action plan templates below and write a 2-page reflection on the pros and or cons of each. Your information can be written in paragraph form, outline form, bullet point lists, or any other manner that makes sense to you and will be clear and organized for me. Okay, so enough details necessary to show that you have evaluated the efficacy of each template overall, as well as any narrow or specific elements that you'd like to highlight as well. And you do not need any scholarly support for part 1. So part 1's a little bit more informal. And again, you're just sharing with me what are your perceived pros and or cons about the 4 behavior plan templates that you see listed there. Okay. Part 2 is a student behavior scenario. So you're going to choose one of the templates, probably the one you like the best from part 1, and you're going to fill in the template based on either a real student behavior that you have experienced. And if you go that route, please be sure to change the student's name to protect anonymity. Or you can do a hypothetical student behavior that you anticipate could present in your current student population. Okay, so provide ample detail and consider the different audiences or stakeholders who might be given a copy of this completed form. Okay, parents, guardians, administrators, teacher colleagues who are also working with the student, maybe school counselor, etc. The more detail, the better. And then error-free writing is paramount for a document that's going to be a little bit more official, more external facing, that represents not just your experience, but also the organization. So just keep that in mind. And so again, for this part, you're just going to open the behavior plan above that you want to use. You'll select File, download as, and choose a Word document for that. You can rename and save that file for submitting as part of your final assignment submission. So that's part 2. So, again, part one, you're evaluating the templates. Part two, choose the template that makes the most sense to you, the template you like the best, and complete the student behavior scenario. And then part three is a reflection. You're going to write a minimum of 1 page to answer the following questions. Number one, is there anything you feel was missing from the template that you used and or the group of templates as a whole? And maybe you addressed that as one of the cons in part one. But if you haven't yet, go ahead and address that in number one, part three, number one down below. And if you didn't talk about that at all in part one, then you definitely can do so in part three, number one. Part three, number two, do you currently use a behavior action plan template, or do you see yourself integrating this into your classroom management arsenal? Why or why not? And then number three, what is one major benefit of using a behavior action plan template from your point of view? All right. And so that's going to be assignment number 5. Want to encourage you just to take a look at the accomplished and exemplary columns in our rubric. Those will set you up for success as always. And please don't hesitate to reach out to me with any questions or concerns about this very last 50-point assignment. All right. And then as we move into the week together, just want to invite you, as always, to consider the Christian message with me. This one comes from Philippians 2, verse 4. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. This letter from Paul reminds us to consider the hearts and minds of others. At times, this is difficult because we get caught up in the schedules and concerns of our own lives and our own families. But through prayer and thoughtfulness, want to encourage you, along with myself this week, to consider the welfare and interests of others, especially those that we serve, keeping them dear to our hearts. And this week, consider the interests of just one person in your life and how might you take a little bit of extra time and effort this week to show them that you care. All right, so have a wonderful week. I am here for you throughout the week, and I look forward to interacting with you as we engage in social emotional learning and behavior interventions.